Don't worry, bestie, the FBI sweater's back. It's been so long. It was in the bottom of my drawer. I need to do laundry. But yes, welcome to the August TBR, where it is raining outside. That's why we're recording it today. No, we're not talking about how my setup felt. Normally I wait until, like, the last few days, to film my TBR. But, one, I already know there's a lot of books on my TBR. And I'm pretty sure the one book club that normally I'd wait for, that doesn't release what the book is until pretty late in the month. I don't think any of the options are ones that are on my TBR, and if there are, I think the ones that are like on the lower end of the list for voting and whatnot, right? And also, like, I don't have time for it. The only reason that the two book club books that I am reading are part of the list is because they're short, and for other reasons, which is why I read Broken Girls in July, despite the fact that it's the July-August book club book, because, you know, I don't got time. Technically, there are 12 books in this list on my iPad this time, but, like, that's subject to change, because a good chunk of the books are ones from NetGalley, like, you know, 5. There's 6 that are published in August right now, but I did just start the first one that comes out, which is the first, obviously, was part of my July TBR, like, that type of stuff, so I want to try to, basically read as many of these as I can before then, but I don't know what's gonna happen with that, so, like, fluctuation in that aspect, but otherwise, yeah, we got 12 books. The first 2, obviously I'm gonna start with vlogs. The first 2 are The Evolution of Mara Dyer and The Retribution of Mara Dyer. I guess this is where I bring up the fact that I, for the rest of the year, am planning, instead of 2 theme vlogs, 1 theme vlog, and then one where I finish series every month. Makes sense, because, like, I have so many. So it's been almost exactly a year. It was September of last year that I read the first one. I think it's time for me to finish the series. I did pull it out of the TBR jar a while back, and then was like, oh, I plan it for another vlog, but that vlog got canceled, where, like, I read the middle book of series that I started in other vlogs in a vlog, but that, like, I was mad about that, so then I was like, what if I just finish series already? Like, what if I just do it? Do not worry, I found a website that I've used before for the podcast and whatnot for summaries, that basically does recaps for a whole entire series, so if you've, like, been a while since you've read a book in the series, you can, like, read them. Love it. 10 out of 10. So I can remember what happens in the first one. I did remember most of the big plot points, but yeah, also that means I don't have to take notes, because it's also possibly going to be a podcast episode in September. But yeah, that's the first ones. And then also, we have 3 physical books. We love this for me. So in June, this was already planned, but in June, I read Song of Achilles in the vlog, where Bessie picked out gay books for me to read, right? And I rated it 4 stars. I liked it, but it had been, like, I think at this point almost 2 years since I read Circe, and I was like, I think I prefer it. And I was talking in one of the book clubs that I'm in, Aline's, I'll just say Aline's, where there was someone else, I think, reading Circe, and so there were a few of us who had either read both or one or the other. And since we were both reading different ones, we briefly talked about it, and the general consensus was that a lot of us prefer Circe. And I was like, that's interesting. I want to see if I prefer Circe, and I already planned to do this vlog where I reread books on my unhaul piles. You can see part of one. Yeah, unhaul pile. Ignore these ones. These ones are current, like, month reads. You can stay there? Cool. But yeah, there's, like, a lot of books here. It looks much shorter now. Trust me, it was much taller. But I had this plan where I wanted to reread books on my haul piles and see if I actually wanted to unhaul them. But literally every single one, except for these 3, happen to be ones that I, like, no, I don't want to keep. If that makes sense? like, I know pretty well. Like, a few are DNFs, a few are like, a good chunk of them are like 3 stars or lower, and stuff like that. There's not many 4 stars on the list. There are a total of 4 stars on the list. And so, or on the piles. And so, hilariously, 3 of those, one of those I was already planning to reread for another thing, I'll talk about it. But, the other 3 all happen to be also Greek mythology retellings. All written by a woman. I just realized that too. So this vlog is so many things at once. But yeah, I already talked about, I'm going to be rereading Circe. I'm very excited. I think I originally read this one. What was this one in the original alphabet reading vlog? I know Ariadne was. This was the first one in that one. Which I really liked, and then shortly after I read it, some Goodreads friends read it and really loved it and were like raving about the writing style, and I was like, now I kind of want to reread it. I'm pretty sure the author has come out with a newish book. Like, could I be reading any of the many Greek mythology retellings already on my TBR? Yes, but I'm going to be rereading. Hilariously, I'm also going to be rereading the 3rd books in the Heroes of Olympus series at the same time. We love that. And then one that's less well known, but like my sister says that she'd prefer it if I kept it, The Silence of the Girls. I keep on forgetting this is a series. There's a sequel to this. This is also very fitting to go with Song Achilles because it's the same time. Like, a lot of it has to do with Achilles. And Patroclus. In fact, the main character in this was in that one, and I was just there like, hello. So yeah, these are the 3 for that. Good times. I love how all 3 of them are book of the month. And then I guess I'll just skip to the extra other books that don't have a category, for the 4th one that is on this pile, which is Evelyn Hugo. I really liked it, but like, I didn't see a need to keep it, so I put it on my unhaul pile. And then regularly Stingray would bring up, I should just send it to them. And then also every once in a while Stingray just sends me TikToks or Instagram reels of like friends annotating books and sending them to their friends and doing this whole thing. And so I was like, well, I gotta record Read With Me's anyways. And I love Bestie, and Bestie's birthday is coming up. They already know this, so their birthday present is this. There's hilariously a SparkNotes page for Evelyn Hugo, so I gotta look at that to figure out what SparkNotes' themes are. But very excited, especially since I just read Malibu Rising and one of the husbands is in this. Or one of the husbands of this is in that, yeah. But yeah, I think I'll still prefer Malibu Rising, but that's, and also I'll reread, and then a shortish book, which is the book for the Buzzwordathon, and also a classic, which is important because I'm very behind, actually not that far behind anymore, is Their Eyes Were Watching God. I think the prompt for August is body parts. So of course, shortish classic. I think it is an author of color. Also, if I remember properly, I think there's a horror aspect. I don't remember much. We know this. But yeah, that is that one. For book clubs, for Chloe's Crime Scene Corner, of course, book clubs will be linked below. It will be Chloe's channel, and then the Goodreads group for Aline's book club for that. But for Chloe's, it's usually switching back and forth between true crime and fiction. And so usually when they do true crime, I do true crime just to like get things knocked off on my nonfiction goal as well, because I'm also behind on that one. And yes, most of the ones I have read this year are true crime. It's fine. But you know, the one for August is Inside the Mind of Jeffrey Dahmer, which is interesting. You know, like, I feel like he's the serial killer that all of us know of, so like, yeah, why not? In her video where she announces the books for the next 3 months type thing, you know, she held up like the physical copy, because most of the books are physical books she owns, right? Getting through her backlog, and it looks pretty short, so like, I think I can do it. And also, it's one of those book clubs where like, you have a set number of pages to read every day and for a week, and you read along with everyone and have conversations about it as you're reading along, which I think is also the benefit of reading true crime like that. But yeah, that should make reading that easier. And then the other one for leans is Nettle and Bone, because it's short. Like, it's already on my TBR and it's short. I really didn't think it was gonna win, but you know, we love that. But yeah, I checked, it's like under 200 pages. I can do it really fast. The one Taking Fisher that I've read, despite the fact that I own one, I haven't read that one. I really liked. I'm Still Scared of Hares. If you know, you know. It was What Moved the Dead. Yeah. Okay. I'm adding a 13th. I remembered, as in case there was a break and you noticed it, while I was talking about Chloe's, I believe, that Books and Lawless, the Literally Dead Book Club for August, I was intrigued by, and so if I have time, I would like to read Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing. If I can't get to it, it's fine, but like, that's an extra 13th. Just saying. Cool, yay. Good times. Okay, I think the rest we just have to talk is NetGalley. So now it's time for me to talk about books and hope I remember what they're about. I was supposed to end with the Nettle and Bone for the book club so that I could talk about one of the NetGalley ones that I just got approved for, because I was a dumbass and decided to request 2 audiobooks like a week ago, and I got approved for both of them, and one of them was Thornhedge, which is a Taking Fisher. Literally know nothing about it, but short. Like, the audiobook is like 4.5-ish hours, so with row speed, I can do it in no time. I'm not worried about it. It's like one of the few that I'm willing to save until next month, because like, it's so fast, I can just knock it out of the park in like one day, write the video, done. Right? So like, I think that's the one that I know the least about on this list. The other audiobook is Teach the Torches to Burn. I think I learned about the Classics Remix, I think it's the same Classics Remix group, from when I think Books and Lala read the Little Woman one. Anyways, this one is Romeo and Juliet, but it's gay. But it's gay. And I know, there's like a bunch of groups, I think, of classic remixes happening by different authors and all this stuff. But the author of The Wicked Bargain, I know, is doing Pride and Prejudice next year, so like, and I know I'm like in the mood for them for some reason, which is why I reread The Great Gatsby, so I could read one at a later point. So, you know, good times. But yeah, that one is Romeo and Juliet, but gay. Like, if you can see the cover right now, it gay. And then on a different vein, is Between Us. If I remember, this is the one where her boyfriend, the main character's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or something like that, is a screenwriter and creates a whole entire show about their relationship, and without like telling her, and so like, it's like being made, like people are really into it, talking about her relationship like they are in it type thing, if I remember properly, and it really intrigued me. I think it's a romance, but like, don't quote me on that. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. I think there's witches. Listen, I saw Alice Hoffman's name and I went, I'll request it, but I'll probably won't get it. And then I did. And that was like 3 weeks ago. At this point, I already had so many books for August. I don't know why I did it, but I did. I've read one Alice Hoffman, which I plan to reread at a later point this year, which is one of my favorite books ever. So like, I really like her writing. So like, I think, yeah, that will be a good time for me. And then Dark Corners. Could I get the physical book of the first book in the series? Yes, it's like right there. I talked about it in my most recent vlog, briefly. I'll get it. The last one is Dark Corners. There we go. By Megan Golden. Yes, which is the sequel to Night Swim, which, if you can't tell, I have emotions about. There's like one tab on top, because that whole entire chapter, sad. And then all these tabs about my emotions. Can you tell I have emotions? Each of these tabs correlates with emotion. I don't remember which ones exactly. There should be one tab in here that is my sister's. but yeah, that's how I did it. Which is real great because I've gotten multiple people to also read it. And so both my sister and bestie, so they knew when they were getting to a sad moment or an angry moment. But yeah, it follows the same character, main character, I assume, who's a true crime podcast host. In this one, she is following a crime that is currently on trial, but also in the small town, but also like there's a crime in the past that it correlates with it. So she's also trying to solve the one in the past, which is more of what she normally does. And so there's like a new case, I assume, in Dark Corners that she's got to look into. It is very Earth vibes. Listen, if it becomes, I don't know how many books there are going to be in the series, because like this is pretty old. I want to say, yeah, 2020. So like it's been 3 years. Exactly. This is August 2020. Weird. But yeah, it's been 3 years. And so like, I don't know if there's going to be more books in the series, but if there are, hear me out. Fire and air. Because you saw the cover, it's very plant-based for Dark Corners. But yes, I'm very excited for it. I had to fight the urge to read it like starting today, because the book that I just finished and really loved remind me of this a lot. So like the obvious conclusion of that is to go and read the sequel to this, right? Yeah. Well, this is me post-filming the outro by like a few seconds, realizing when I pulled up my schedule to like tell you when things were happening in the next week, that there's 4 other books I have to bring up for the podcast. I'm so smart. Yeah. The most important ones, I guess, the 6 Wicked Villain ones. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. You can see the cover right now. It's fine. Which is Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent, but her name's Malone. It's lesbian? Yeah. So far Aurora's been like in every single book too, so that's very interesting. And very exciting. I think this is the one that Stingray also plans to read just because of lesbians. Valid, you know. Valid. So that's the thing. Red, White, and Royal Blue. The movie's coming out. We're doing a podcast episode on it. Hopefully. So I kind of want to reread the book. If it doesn't happen, I'm not mad about it, but like I'd prefer to reread it. I've done it in 24 hours before. I can do it again. Technically, it was in like 12 hours. It was like in like I woke up at 8, read the whole thing by 11 p.m. type thing. So that happened. The other one for the buddy read for the next month. Okay, weird cut because apparently I had to sneeze. Is also going to be a reread. I don't know what's with me and rereads apparently in August. Iron Widow. That's what's happening. It was technically supposed to be because September was when the sequel was supposed to come out, but there was a bunch of stuff about that. So I still want to read it. It was fine because like there was a secondary one that I also want to do in September. So like it wasn't sure whether it would be the sequel or that one, so it's just that one now. So it didn't mess with the schedule or anything. It's just very sad. And you know, we love the author. Follow them on everything. It's great. They're great. And very excited. One of my favorite books of last year. And then the other one, the last one, no iPad, I did not want to download it. God damn it. Is Stalked by the Kraken. That's the other Smut episode. I don't know if I will be continuing the series. If I do, it will be on my own time type thing. It just, you know, just I thought I'd throw in Monster Smut in there. You know, for fun. Could I have thrown in Katie Robert Monster Smut? Yes, but like, I thought people should have a Katie Robert break, right? So yeah, that's like a Monster Smut I've heard a lot about in the past. I think I had bought it for like $1 many months ago, so like it's fine. But that's the last one, so I think the list is up to 17. It's fine, but I didn't do it. It's fine. But yeah, that's the last one to talk about. I'm pretty sure. Honestly, this is not as long as I expected it to be, so hell yeah, we love that for me. And yeah, I think that is it. Stay tuned for all the crazy vlogs I have planned. Wednesdays, per normal, are reading with me. There we go. I can't speak words anymore. And yeah, I don't remember what the exact schedule is. Could I pull it up? It's on this iPad. Why am I saying it's like it's on this iPad? I made the whole entire schedule for the year on this iPad. For the next weekish Wednesday is gonna be the wrap up. On Saturday is gonna be the previous me, but otherwise we're in these most Wednesdays, vlogs every other Saturday in the month. Thank you for informing me the podcast episode that went up 47 minutes ago has gone up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Check out the podcast Fridays. Now you know I filmed this on a Friday. We just did the one that just went up according to my phone. Is the longest episode yet. You don't have to listen to it. I'd appreciate it because I spent so much time editing it, but you know, it's fine. But yeah, those are things. If you want to experience me finishing the Wicked Villain series, stay tuned for the podcast because that's happening. And yes, I did just film the extra 4 episodes or 4 extra books just now. It's fine. We don't need to talk about it. We love how I'm gonna read 17 books in August apparently. Yeah, but see you in the next video. Check out Stingrays. Their links are below. And check out the podcast, which is also usually linked below. And sometimes in the cards as well, if I remember. It's fine.